Hello, my name is Jade Theriault, and I am a performance artist and freelance contractor who lives and works in the Bay Area. I love my job because it has taken me to all four corners of the map. I've used BART religiously for 9 years and can confidently say I've been to every station. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. Universal design is not something that can be achieved overnight, but I know that BART can do better. Around October of 2019, Montgomery Station installed a new fare gate in front of the platform elevator. As a severely disabled person, I require assistance from a station agent in order to swipe my card and access the elevator. Sometimes the gates would crush my body if the person helping me tripped the sensor by reaching over from the other side. There's no emergency door at this platform, so not only do I have to use the gate and risk injury, but also I am literally imprisoned in a small hallway until I can get someone's attention, since the call boxes are out of my reach. When all else fails, I call BART police, only to get lectured for not having a perceived emergency. I do not feel safe at this station. While Montgomery is a severe example, other stations, such as downtown Berkeley, have also installed new barriers for disabled people. To remedy this, BART's access coordinator provided me with a phone number that would relay directly to an agent and bypass law enforcement. Though it is not a long-term solution, it is a decent band-aid. I encourage BART to officially distribute this phone number as soon as possible in order to stop the alienation of disabled riders. BART, your recent renovations have created access barriers. If there is going to be a fare gate, there needs to be a fire door. If the fire door is locked, there needs to be an agent present. When any of the pieces are missing, you are putting our lives in danger and preventing us from using public transportation. Critics of my platform will say that my physical limitations are unique. That is a lie. There is a reason that you don't see people like me using your services. Just last week, I ran into a friend of mine who also has a mobility disability. Needless to say, we flipped the metaphorical coin to see which one of us would bother a passerby to help us press the very inaccessible elevator buttons. In order to implement the changes I proposed, including the publicized agent number and the added fire door at Montgomery, BART must address the issue of staffing. If BART is unable to do so, then I encourage them to remove these new access barriers and go back to the drawing board. Thank you very much.
May I ask a point of clarification?
Where is it coming from? Yes.
Yes. Is your issue with the buttons in the elevator to get to the floor, or processing a clipper card?
Thank you. So, yes, my issue is twofold. This is a very convoluted situation, as there's a lot of buttons that need to be pressed when accessing BART. Right now, my issue is swiping the gate and using the elevator. At Montgomery, this issue is very specific because there is no agent I can go to on the platform to help me with any of this. While there are many long-term solutions and remodelings that can help with these access barriers, I think short-term, there needs to be a phone number to reach an agent or an access coordinator or an ambassador, and there also needs to be a fire door at Montgomery. That's absurd, that there's no way to exit that hallway if there's an emergency.
Thank you for sharing your comments.
Yeah.
We appreciate your comments so much, and actually after the next public commenter, I have a request from, that's not an RCI, but a request to the staff. Our next public comment is
Alyssa. Is it Westerlund?
Yes. My name's Alyssa Westerlund, and we're both comedians in the Bay Area, and we use BART to travel often. I travel with her to shows a lot, and I also book her a lot because she's hilarious. Shows don't last that long. If you're 30 minutes late because you couldn't get someone to help you, it's a 90-minute show. It's, a significant portion of our job, and it all happens in a very short amount of time. I travel with her so much, I do see the things. I mean, her experience of the world is pretty much wholly unimaginable to the majority of able-bodied people. It is like walking into it and you're like, whoa. And for me, it's even more upsetting. It's something I've just discovered, I mean, knowing Jade, and it is terrifying. I've seen elevator doors close on her because they close too fast. I've seen the gates close on her. I've seen people who aren't properly trained, don't know how to help her, put her at risk. I've seen her get stuck in elevators because if there's not someone there to push the button or I have to get out first, she just gets trapped in there. And we all know that these elevators are not clean. I mean, it's terrible. We can do better. Everything she's proposing is extremely actionable, at least for now. We know that you're trying to work on these other things long term, but the quality of life of the people in my life and the people in our community affects everybody. And we know this because we're focusing on the homeless issue for a reason. So we need to build everybody up. We can do it. And yeah, make the phone number accessible. And this is a whole group of people that if you actually tap into the disabled community and make BART an easy option, just an easy option, that's a huge community that you can embrace and bring in. And I just want to say that, yeah, what I've seen is something we all need to see, and you really need to start soliciting these points of view because it matters to everybody. And thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Jade for your online activism,
Thank you.
which your voice has gone very loud and wide, and hopefully not only opened a lot of eyes to this issue, but I think more than that, it is extremely difficult if you have an impairment to go up into the face of power and actually ask for structural change. I would love the staff to provide a memo to this board and also to the two public commenters today in response to this public comment, particularly how, as we station harden, right, and as we expand capital projects, while they may be ADA compliant, it's oftentimes that the folks who are the engineers or the folks who are testing, they're not living in wheelchairs or they're not walking with canes. So I think every single time we hear from folks who deeply rely on our system, who don't have other options, our ears need to be loud and clear. And it's not just another public commenter coming to complain about a system. It's a citizen, it's a resident coming to say they can't use our system. And it's deeply, deeply important, I think, to all of us that we sit for a second and just realize what we just heard. It's very, very important that we respond, and it's about what we have to do moving forward. So I just want to thank you. We owe not just an explanation of why it can be better, but how it will be better. We are doing so much work as station by station by station. And I would actually ask the staff to read an article by Angela Glover Blackwell. And she talks about the notion of the curve effect. And if we look at, after ADA was passed, if we look at how we engineer spaces and places, and we think about what folks in cities had to do by beveling curves, how everyone else benefits. Everyone else will benefit if we're thinking about creating and reimagining our systems so that Jade and the brethren who have mobility issues can access them easily. Everyone will benefit. I want to thank you.